Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Tar Heels Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Sasher, bringing you all the latest news in regards to UNC athletics. Yesterday, I went to the press conference for Henri Veesaar and Kyan Evans. Those two were the first two players that we got to talk to um, for this upcoming basketball season. Of course, next Wednesday, we will be talking to Seth Trimble. I'm really excited to talk to him as well. We got Kyan Evans, of course, point guard, came in from Colorado State. And then Henri Veesaar, of course, is the 7-foot big man that came in from Arizona. Both, of course, came through the transfer portal. And because they spoke yesterday, let's profile them a bit. Kind of remind people who they are. I know me and Jeremiah have given you a bunch of articles about them already to some extent, where they came from and how they got here and stuff like that. But this is the first time we got to, we're going to be able to talk about them. So Kyan Evans, of course, transferred in from Colorado State. He was an honorable All-Mountain West player last year. And he started all 36 games that were played by the Rams. He, of course, led the Rams to the NCAA tournament. And really what he was known for was his three-point shooting. He shot nearly 45% from beyond the arc, so 70 of 157. That's really, really, really good. He also shot 85.2% from the free-throw line. Of course, and that's phenomenal. Of course, he also shot 47.1% from the field. He averaged 10.6 points per game, 3.1 assists, and 2.9 rebounds per game. And last year, he really blew up near the end of the year. He kind of had a slow start of the season, but then as you got later and later, the season became a much better contributor. His assist numbers went up. Of course, his point totals went up, but assist numbers really started to go through the roof. He was averaging about 4 or 5 assists per game. So he can. Yes, he is known as a scorer, but he also became a better facilitator as the year went on. And when you got the NCAA tournament, he shot 6 for 9 from beyond the arc. So 6 threes out of 9 attempts. And he scored 23 points, had 4 assists, and had 2 rebounds. And then the next game against Maryland, which Colorado State nearly upset in the round of 32. They lost 72-71. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Not the best of games, but he's a very, very good player. There's a reason why North Carolina went after him. He fits the mold of a North Carolina point guard, and it'd be really exciting to see him, Seth Trimble, and Luka Bogovac, do work. Right, you're gonna have three ball handlers in the backcourt, right? Which is very interesting. And so Luka Bogovac, of course, will probably take more of the role of the 3, but he will still have a lot of ball handling role as well. All 3 of them are excellent ball handlers. So I think there's going to be a lot of excitement in the backcourt this year. And really also, Seth Trimble and Kyan Evans. Kyan Evans is listed as 6'2", but he's probably more like 6'6'1". Just because the rosters, I know this is what Steve Kirshner said, is that they add an inch to their height. So, for example, Caleb Wilson's listed as 6'10". He's more like 6'9". That's what he came in as, but they gave him 6'10" because when they measure him in their shoes. So they got about an inch. So Kyan Evans more on the small side, so is Seth Trimble. But these guys are excellent scorers. They like the physicality, and really, I think they'll help benefit North Carolina, because North Carolina last year shot 35% from beyond the arc as a team, which isn't. It's all right, but you want the number to be a little bit higher. And Kyan Evans will raise that number tremendously. So will Luka Bogovac as well, because Luka Bogovac is also another really good three-point shooter. Moving on to Henri Veesaar. Henri Veesaar was the big man for Arizona last year. And interestingly enough, he did not start many games. He only started 5 games last year, but he played in all 37 games that the Wildcats played. And he was a tremendous player. He averaged 9.4 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game, while also shooting 59.2% from the floor and 32.7% from behind the arc. But his numbers are even better when you got in the conference play. He averaged 10.9 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game, while also shooting 62.6% from the field and 38.7% from the 3-point line. So when he got into tougher competition, his numbers went up tremendously, which says a lot. Which also adds another aspect of him. But he's great on the perimeter and he's great on the inside. He is a stretch 4, but he also can play really good defense. A lot of times stretch 4s get criticized for not really playing the best of defense because they're usually more of offensive players. But Henri Veesaar, he brings versatility in both ends of the court, and he can guard multiple positions, which is very, very good for North Carolina because the more versatility, the better. You're going to see, Caleb Wilson, of course, can be very versatile because of his athleticism and his size, of course. But so is Henri Veesaar. So Henri Veesaar and Caleb Wilson are kind of like the same type of player. They're very versatile. They can score any way possible in offense, and they can guard all 5 positions because of athleticism. So that's really good. He also was second in offensive rating, which is 133.7. He was second in 2-point field goal percentage, 70%, and 7th in block percentage, 7.3%, and 8th in offensive rebound percentage, 12.2%, according to KenPom. That's all in conference play. So, I mean, he's a really, really, really good player, y'all. And also he adds experience. I mean, he played at Arizona. Arizona, of course, is one of the premier college basketball programs in America. I mean, they are. They've had a lot of success they've always had a good bit of success. But, Lute Olson, they're going to Final Fours. They won a national championship in 97. Of course, they had a good bit of success in the 2000s. They had a lot of success under Sean Miller. And, of course, they've had a lot of success under Tommy Lloyd. So, I mean, he came from a premier program with a lot of expectations, just like North Carolina. Of course, North Carolina, is a blue blood program. They've won 6 national championships, for crying out loud. But Arizona is also a very proud program themselves. They won a national championship. They've been to multiple Final Fours. So he knows what the expectation is like at North Carolina because he also dealt with those similar expectations at Arizona. So he's a huge pickup from the transfer portal. And guess what? North Carolina was actually the only school he visited. He literally visited is like, yep, this is where I want to go to school. So he wants to be here. So not only is he a really good player, he fits what North Carolina wants, and also he provides both versatility on both ends of the court. He wants to be here. He wants to be here in Chapel Hill. He wants to wear the Carolina blue. And that's what Hubert Davis is looking for. So I think him and Kyan Evans are both huge pickups for North Carolina because it's exactly what they want. They want veteran players. They wanted guys who could score. He wanted guys who could defend. And also wanted guys who wanted to wear Carolina blue. And that's what's very important. That's going to wrap it up today for these Tar Heels Insider podcast. A little bit of a shorter episode today because we got a lot of stuff going on. But I also want to recap, the press conference we had with Henri Veesaar and Kyan Evans. Because, of course, football season's in full swing. But I know how much you guys care about basketball. So I want to kind of update you on whatever basketball updates I have. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.